Superstar forward Kawhi Leonard has announced that he's withdrawing from the 2024 Olympic Games. And it's been announced by the selection committee that Celtics star Derrick White has been announced as the person that's going to fill that spot. Now, on today's episode of Celtics Digest, we're going to be talking about why I think this is a great fit, why I also think that I'm sad for Kawhi Leonard, but I'm super excited for Derrick White. And as well as, we're going to be talking about one player who made some very controversial tweets on the Twitter space and why this might be interesting and why this might be important for future conversations. Now, without further getting started, I want to say thank you guys so much for all the support. Me and Bruce have been super thankful for all the support you guys have been giving us. And subscribe for all your Celtics news, trades, everything happening about our Boston Celtics, man. And now, let's get started. The thing I want to talk to you guys about is that Kawhi Leonard has announced that he's going to be withdrawing from the tournament. Now, we're seeing this today, and we don't really know what happened, but we do know it's with his knee injuries. It's saying here in this announcement that Kawhi had a very few strong practices in Las Vegas. He thought he was ready to compete. However, he respects that USA Basketball and the Clippers have determined that's in his best interest to spend the remainder of the summer preparing for the upcoming season. Now, we don't know whether or not this is solely on Team USA or whether this is Steve Ballmer saying, we're having a new arena. We need you to stay off the court right now so you can be healthy for the season, because he's put a lot of money into the Clippers. And with the team moving, it's definitely a big issue on whether or not they have a lot of stars to fill the seats, especially with Paul George as well leaving the team. But as well as, Kawhi Leonard, he didn't play in the playoffs a lot because he was suffering from knee soreness and inflammation. So this could also add to it, and he wants to be fully healthy to go for another title run for their team, which probably won't happen. But the good thing is that Derrick White was announced to the team, and that can be the best thing that happened out of an injury. Obviously, we hope Kawhi Leonard gets well soon. Hopefully, he can return back to his days when he was a Raptor and a Spur and get better as soon as possible. But Derrick White is officially on the Team USA team for this summer. And I'm super excited. A lot of people are saying this is a bad move and that there's other people to put on the team. But I think this is the perfect selection for someone like Derrick White to especially fill in that Kawhi role. With so many stars on the team, you need someone that's going to do the intangibles, do the dirty work, do whatever the team needs him to do, whatever Steve Kerr needs him to do. And with his averages, we know he's going to be someone that can play and give you whatever you need on a night-to-night basis. Now, this season, he averaged 15 points per game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, and 1 steal per game. Also, All-NBA defensive team member this year, while also shooting 39% from 3. Basically 40% if you look at it right. But he's going to be able to give you whatever you need on a night-to-night basis, especially in the Olympics, guarding anyone that you need him to guard. Now, we don't know whether and how he's going to fit into the team. I expect him to come off the bench, probably in the 7th or 8th man role. We know there's so many great players on Team USA right now, but I definitely expect him to play, because when you have a player, a sniper, and a great defender like Derrick White who's willing to do anything for the team, there's no way you're just not going to let him play. Like, we got to be honest with ourselves. He's definitely going to receive some big-time minutes. And I saw this tweet from Shane Young, and I just wanted to talk about it. And it says, Shane Young who works for Forbes, but he said, imagine being upset that Derrick White, one of the best defenders on the planet, is getting the call to fill in for Team USA. Non-ball knowers, really. I just want to explain and understand why people think that this is a bad call-up. Yeah, the only other person that I really think that was really going to get the call other than him was Jaylen Brown. And we're going to talk about Jaylen Brown later in his comments. But I definitely think this is the best situation for Steve Kerr to make this selection. you know what you're getting out of Derrick White on a night-to-night basis, and that's what I say. And especially Derrick White and Steve Kerr have had many, many battles in the past with his other teammate right now, Steph Curry for Team USA. They know what they're gonna get in, and they know how great of a defender he is, and that's someone you definitely want to play alongside, Steph Curry, LeBron James, like all those great, great, great Team USA players. So I definitely understand why this selection was made, and I know this team is going to fit perfectly. And I can't believe people are out here saying that this is a bad selection. I really don't understand that at all. While I'm also seeing here that Keith Smith agrees with me, and he thinks it's mostly these two reasons why they added him to the team. And I think there's also another reason, but I'm going to get to that after. So they need another defensive-minded guard. Team USA has been buried or been burned in the past by not being able to defend opposing guards. And I think this is a huge, huge thing, especially with the world landscape of basketball getting better. We've seen that these teams have been able to beat USA with USA bringing, some weaker lineups to these tournaments. More notably last year when we did lose. So I'm thinking you get a great defender and showing that he can defend these great guards for the other teams. Like, tonight we're playing Team Canada in a scrimmage match, and knowing that you have a player like Jrue Holiday and Derrick White to be those great, great defenders with a bunch of star great players around them, you know what you're going to get, and you know that these great defenders are going to lock up these great everywhere in the world, from guards to, maybe taller forwards. You know that they're going to be able to defend them and very much show on a night-to-night basis that they're the best defenders in the world. I'm not even going to say in the U.S., in the world. And coming from Derrick White, that he's not going to complain if he doesn't play too much. That's big for team chemistry. And that he's already going to be with some teammates right now in Jrue Holiday, Jayson Tatum, and Peyton Pritchard, who's on the U.S. select team, basically just practicing with the other players. So knowing that he's going to have his boys around him definitely is going to make it easier for him to make that transition to play. And another thing that I wanted to talk about is free throw shooting. Derrick White has been a great free throw shooter in the past few years, shooting around 90% from the free throw line. And that's something that's going to be a big boost come time for these Olympic Games, because there hasn't been that many free throw shooting games that have harmed Team USA, but it's always a plus when you have another great free throw shooter in clutch moments that is going to hit those free throws down. And I know that Derrick White is the best player in this situation, but I know a lot of people were saying that there's one person that they're missing from this that didn't get picked up. And that man is Jaylen Brown. So Jaylen Brown had a couple comments today, whether that he didn't make it, but he had a couple comments today saying that he wasn't on the team, and just talking about he wasn't on it for a reason that he didn't like. And basically he said, at Nike, this is what we doing. Now, I'm very skeptical about this decision to make this tweet, and you see the tweet right under it below. He did delete the tweet that was at Nike. Obviously, probably not the best tweet, and he was definitely frustrated. But I think he had tagged Nike because two reasons. Nike has a great pull with the Team USA selection committee because Nike is a primary sponsor. And the other reason, we know that Jaylen Brown isn't signed to any shoe companies, so this might have hindered him in his selection because he has in the past worn Nike shoes but covered them up in many ways. Like I've seen, most notably is when he was wearing the Kobe Grinches, RIP to Kobe, where he was wearing those shoes and he literally didn't have any Nike swoosh on the shoes. It was just the red of the Kobe Grinches, which I thought was very interesting that Jaylen Brown would do that. But we know Jaylen Brown, who he is as a person and the player, so it's expected. So Jaylen Brown thinks that there's a bigger reason to why they didn't select him for the team. And we know there's a couple other players that are playing for Team USA that are not signed to Nike, most notably Stephen Curry and Anthony Edwards. But those are some of the best players in the league, as well as, Jaylen Brown was a MVP for crying out loud. Finals MVP, conference finals MVP. How is he not making it to the team? There, I don't understand the thought process. Yeah, we did, you do add a player like Derrick White. Who are you going to take out to add Jaylen Brown? Obviously, that's a conversation for someone else to have. I'm not the one to make those conversations. But I'm very sure that Jaylen Brown should have a place on the team regardless. You can't allow, there should be 4 Celtics on that team, heavily influenced by the team that just won the NBA championship. So I want to know your guys' thoughts on it, whether or not you like the selection, whether or not that was the selection that you wanted it to be made, whether or not you like Derrick White on Team USA or you wanted Jaylen Brown more. Regardless, thank you guys for watching. And as always, I'm your host, Godfrey Sympre. Have a good one. Thank you.